We associate the word psychopath with the shadowy figures of true crime documentaries. But statistically, someone with psychopathic traits is more likely to be pulling up a chair at your own family dining table. In clinical terms, this behavior is classified as antisocial personality disorder, or ASPD. It is defined by two missing emotional components: a total lack of empathy and a complete absence of guilt. In this diagram, those connecting lines represent the flow of resources. While a healthy family relies on a mutual exchange, the psychopathic member creates a strictly one-way street, pulling value toward a single central node. Because we are biologically inclined to trust our own kin, these toxic patterns often go unnoticed. We explain away their behavior or make excuses for them, allowing the exploitation to continue for decades. We can begin to see this more clearly by looking at the specific behaviors that emerge in 4 distinct positions on the family tree. Pay close attention to the final type, the extended relative. They often wait for moments of extreme vulnerability, like a family crisis or a sudden loss, to make their move. At the top of the hierarchy is the psychopathic parent. They do not view their children as developing individuals, but rather as tools or literal extensions of their own ego. Their affection is tied to performance. If a child makes them look successful in public, they offer glowing praise. But the moment they are behind closed doors, that warmth is replaced by cold neglect or sharp, belittling comments. To maintain absolute control, they use a tactic called triangulation. The parent positions themselves as the only source of truth, effectively severing the lateral bond between siblings, so they can't unite against the parent's behavior. They do this by assigning roles. One sibling becomes the golden child, who receives constant praise, while the other is the scapegoat, who absorbs the blame for every family problem. By keeping them in these opposing roles, the parent ensures the siblings remain isolated and focused on each other rather than the parent. For a psychopathic parent, keeping their children divided is a calculated strategy to ensure they remain the unchallenged center of power in the household. Shifting to the same generation, we find the psychopathic sibling. Growing up with them is often described as a hidden psychological war. They specialize in covert sabotage. They might destroy your things, drive your friends away, or spread lies about you, all while making sure the parents never see what is actually happening. If they are ever caught, they immediately flip the script. They will drop to the floor in mock agony, using convincing fake tears to convince the parents that they are actually the victim, which usually results in you being the one who gets punished. As they reach adulthood, this lack of loyalty becomes even more apparent. When property, inheritances, or legal advantages are on the line, they will choose their own gain over their siblings' well-being every single time. To them, the family home was never a shared sanctuary. It was a battleground for dominance and resources. Moving down the tree, we see the relationship reverse. When a psychopathic child becomes an adult, their interaction with their parents often turns into a purely parasitic one. Their method of operation follows a repeating cycle of charm. It consists of 3 phases: disappearance, charismatic return, and finally, resource extraction. They may vanish for years, only to reappear with a highly emotional apology. They promise they've changed and ask for forgiveness. Once the parent's natural defense drops, the child moves to the final stage of the loop. That's when the exploitation begins. They might ask for $5,000 to pay off a debt or stay out of jail. As soon as the transfer of value is complete, they disappear again, leaving their parents to wait for the cycle to restart. Their most effective tactic is knowing exactly how to use a parent's unconditional love as a tool for financial or emotional gain. Finally, we have the relatives on the periphery: aunts, uncles, and in-laws. These members often act as invisible agents of chaos. They thrive on extracting family secrets and destroying alliances from a distance, enjoying the drama they create without having to deal with the immediate consequences. While they are always stirring the pot, their most predatory behavior is saved for specific moments of crisis, such as a severe illness or a sudden death in the family. While the immediate family is grieving and vulnerable, the psychopathic relative moves in. They may contest wills, manipulate grieving relatives into signing documents, or find ways to snatch a portion of the assets before anyone realizes what is happening. They wait for the exact moment when the family's psychological and emotional defenses are at their lowest point to make their move. A shared genetic history often creates a sense of automatic trust. It's this very trust that a psychopathic relative uses as a shield to hide their behavior. Recognizing the specific roles they play, whether it's the parent, sibling, child, or extended relative, allows you to see the transactional nature of their behavior for what it is. If you've noticed these patterns in your own family, share your thoughts in the comments. Talking about these dynamics can help others realize they aren't alone in their experiences. In our next video, we will discuss the specific psychological defense mechanisms you can use to protect your assets and your peace of mind from these relatives. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it. We can't choose our relatives, but we can choose to see them clearly and set the boundaries necessary to protect ourselves.